Welcome yet again to the To-Do application backend series. We are done with part 0, we're done with part 1, and now it's the time we start with part 2, which is, as you can see, is the server design. Part 0 was all about the high level application architecture. Part 1 was about the database scheme and architecture with a little bit of coding as well. Part 2 is about the server design uh, and followed by coding as well. यहाँ पर coding will be heavy. Which is the main fun and the main logical part. यहाँ बहुत fun होने वाला है. So stick till the end. So let's just start. Okay. सर्वर डिज़ाइन बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है. क्यों? बिकॉज योर ब्रेन इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. योर बॉडी इज़ okay, very beautiful. People are beautiful, but beautiful people are dumb. Your server can be dumb until and unless तुमने कोड अच्छा लिखा है. Your structuring and logic is good. So server is your brain of your application. So you need to ensure that your brain is functioning properly, and that is exactly what we are doing in this video. Let's just get right into it. Components we have discussed already. Express for routes handling, Mongoose for database interaction, JWT for authentication, Zord for middleware and input validation, bcrypt for hashing password using salts and salting rounds, Chalk for server logs. Let's get into the architecture or the procedure how our application will go. First thing, how will your application start? How? First of all, your application should only start when all of the essential things are ready. Like whatever you need for the server to function, this should be ready. What is the most important thing for us right now for this server, for this to-do application backend? It is the database where we are storing all our information. So we must ensure that uh, our routes are only available to use by the front end or the postman only if the database is set up properly. What will happen if the database fails? भाई database तो काम नहीं कर रहा है. Any subsequent request by the front end or postman will just result in a WebSocket hang up error, error connection hang, whatever errors. So it is a very bad user experience. The person might not visit, or it will definitely leave a bad impression. Okay, so you should always ensure that some of the things like database connection is established, and then you can maybe make your routes available, make your middlewares available for the general public. So first thing you will try to do is establish a connection with the database. Okay, we are using MongoDB. You all can use anything. If it is successful, if and only if the database is successful, then start listening on the port. This port is defined in the environment variables. You can hard code it as well. It is not a security issue. You will tell the express server to only start listening on the specified port if the database connection was successful. If it was not successful, it was a failure, then we exit the application. We will exit. We will not tell the user anything like bhai ki our server is not up, it's not for use right now. Okay, first thing done. Now that you've handled this logic of database is काम कर रहा है कि नहीं, the next is the skeleton कि भाई what all routes have you opened for the user, what all communication channels are present, क्या क्या request, क्या क्या चीज़ें यूज़र कर सकता है आपके एप्लीकेशन में. Okay, Fast API has a very beautiful feature where for the application जिस server पे वो hosted है, you can give a /docs and you can automatically see what all routes are available for that application. I don't know if a thing like that is available for other libraries, or maybe I have not yet read about that, but it's a very beautiful thing, Fast API for that. So we define routes and middlewares. We will create a skeleton of all the routes that we are going to handle, and we are going to create and place. Creating is one thing, and placing also is one thing. When we are creating middlewares, then placement is very important. For example, middlewares can be for authentication, middlewares can be for input validation. Some of the routes might need, all of the routes might not need authentication, all of the routes might not need input validation, depends on your application, depends on your use case. But the placement is very important in case of middlewares. That's because in Express everything is a middleware and everything is chained via middleware chaining. So you need to first of all create a skeleton of all the routes you're going to handle, and then you should create and place appropriate middlewares for your validation or authorization. Okay, right, चली गई. Okay. For example, let's have a very basic example. ठीक है, दिस इज योर यूजर, योर फ्रंट एंड, योर पोस्टमैन, वट एवर, जहाँ से रिक्वेस्ट आने वाली है. वी हैव एक्सपोज एन एंड पॉइंट कि यार यहाँ से यू कैन कम्युनिकेट विद आर एप्लीकेशन. ठीक है, it will first hit a middleware if you have defined those for your application, which we are going to do that. Okay, the middleware will ensure कि whatever we are expecting the user to send, whether it is valid or not. Best case scenario, it is valid. ठीक है, it will hit the route handler. Router handler will do all the processing, the logic, like interaction with the database, and whatever the result of that operation will be, it will be sent back to our front end postman or user. If in under any scenario a check failed, maybe the input validation or the authentication was not valid, maybe the request body was not valid, we do not want in that case that our route handler should even get that request. It's a corrupted request, it's not a good request. We do not want a server to handle that request, we do not want a server to crash. So we'll just simply say fail हो गया भाई, पप्पू पास नहीं हो पाया, पप्पू फेल हो गया है, फेलियर एंड स्टेटस ऑफ एरर मैसेज. ओके, सो यू गिव दैट देन एंड देयर. Okay, this is pretty simple, it's very simple, nothing very hard at all. Okay, error handling. Okay, error handling is very important. You only get to you can get an idea ki these errors might come, but you cannot pinpoint, unless that's in my case. I cannot pinpoint until and unless I'm building the application, I'm writing the code, I'm like, array, I'm awaiting here, so maybe maybe it can throw an error, or maybe whatever it is, so maybe I need to write a custom error for it. So you write errors as I write errors as I'm writing the code. I have a separate file for it, I import them, and then I throw those errors. I catch, I try, I enclose them in try catch, and I have if else conditions placed. If that condition, for example, I queried the database, the user was not found, then I throw a custom error that I defined in the error.js and catch it. Where I have all the error identifiers I have placed कि भाई ये errors आ सकते हैं. एक कैच में आई हैव अ फंक्शन विच विल डू एरर आइडेंटिफिकेशन कि भाई ये वाली प्रॉब्लम आई है, एंड देन यू आइडेंटिफाई दैट एरर एंड देन यू रिटर्न दैट स्पेसिफिक एरर. अब भाई अगर सब पास है, सब चंगा है, तो क्या दिक्कत है, योर यूजर विल गेट वट एवर इट इज़. बट बहुत टाइम, बट यू हैव टू रियली बी केयरफुल ऑफ योर सर्वर, बिकॉज सर्वर एक बार फट गया तो भाई लाइक it's a bad thing. You have to restart it, even though there are multiple servers in a real application. But you should always write your application logic in such a way that faltu mein there are no crashes. That's just a good design technique. So I think we're done with the design part. I think I hope I was I was able to tell you guys what I wanted to say. I'm also learning, so don't put a pin on it. Also tell me, you guys should really tell me like what design thing that I'm doing wrong, or maybe I can improve it. I really want to know. This is not a teaching journey, this is a learning journey for you and for me. I tell something, you either agree with me or leave some feedback, and we both learn in this process. So please make it a communicative journey. It is going to be helpful for everybody, the audience, you, me, everybody. Let's just help each other and let's just grow, and let's not fall into the AI FOMO. Just keep grinding and keep doing. I don't know why I just spilled some motivation over there, but okay. So I need to navigate to what we are doing, build with me. So I think we in the last video had successfully built the database. Now is the chance to build our server. Okay, let's just define it. Like जब हम server का code लिख रहे होंगे, if you feel like अरे ये error आ रही है, then we can define it there. Then it will be a good demonstration. I think packages are all there. Yes, it's all there. What should I do? Should I explain every line of code? No, that will be tedious. Maybe I can write a functionality, and then when the functionality is done, then maybe I can tell ki bhai, this is what I'm doing. Okay. First things first, the imports. You have to tell the server क्या चाहिए. Ask and you shall receive. Sorry. Const app equals to express. अरे यार ऐसी गंदी गंदी हरकतें क्यों करता हूँ मैं. Now that we have the app, should we start listening right now? No! Go back to the design. We only start listening on a port when the connection with the database or whatever prerequisite that you have for application is good to go. Okay? So let's just leave it here. Do I have .env in my packages? I do have .env. Okay. So without any further ado, let me just require .env.config. What this will do is, ये हमारी एप्लीकेशन जब स्टार्ट होगी तो एनवायरनमेंट में ऑल डॉट वेरिएबल्स दैट हैव यहाँ पर env में जितने वेरिएबल्स इट विल पुल दैट एंड मेक इट अवेलेबल फॉर आवर एप्लीकेशन. Again, these are the sample variables that I will be using. I can't show you the real credentials. Okay. Now we can have JWT secret. How? Because we have .env, so we can just do process.env dot what? JWT secret. What else do we need? We need chalk for server logs. Require. Array, the version of chalk is 4. Array, no mistake. This version of chalk will not support the require syntax. I think it's 4.0.1. Quick npm chalk. I think it's 4.1.0. Let's just update a dependency for this one right here. Okay. अरे भाई ये क्या सिस्टम है. Yes, good to go. Require chalk. ठीक है. अब chalk में there is this one thing that you can do this. Success के लिए we will use chalk dot green dot bold. Standard, nothing too out of the box. Fail के लिए will use chalk dot red dot bold. You can do whatever यार. तुम pink ले लो भाई. You can just do whatever. This is just what जो मुझे समझ में आता है I'm doing. We need mongoose. Spelling. ठीक है. And then you need Mongo URI ना. Mongo URI तो I can get from the environment itself. Okay. Mongoose है मेरे पास. I need those schemas that we have, schemas and models. Sorry, the models to actually interact with the database. We are exporting that, so we should have that as well. Const user model and to do model. Thank you VS Code for making my life and typing easier. Thank you. / database. What else? Now, मैंने एक चीज़ कही थी. You want your application to start. Whenever you start the server.js, the first thing that you should ensure is that your database connection is established. Okay, your database connection is very crucial. How do you make sure that automatically it gets called? We have something called self-calling functions in JavaScript, which we will be using, and a synchronous self-calling function which will try to establish a connection with the server. If it's good to go, we'll do an app.listen. We'll expose our application to the users. We'll interact with us. Kar lo baatcheet. Let's just make an asynchronous arrow function. It is start database. पैरामीटर्स अभी तो कुछ नहीं है. async क्या दिक्कत है? Am I doing something wrong? Arrow function भाड़ में जा. async arrow function, async function, ठीक है. Start database. What we'll do is try catch. Let's go try catch. We will await for the database connection. Mongoose dot connect with what? Process dot env dot mongo uri. Am I doing something wrong? ये अलग से उसमें आता है. we'll see it when we see it. ठीक है. अब if this fails, this will throw an error automatically. We are not going to throw an explicit error. This will automatically throw an error for us, which we can catch here. Okay, so अगर error मिली तो we can just simply be like, console.log fail database failed to connect, and you can be like exiting application, whatever. And also you can do this, you should do this process.exit exit with status code 1, standard norm है भाई. Now it doesn't return anything. I don't know if it returns anything, but we are just like, अगर यहाँ इस कंट्रोल के बाद यहाँ कंट्रोल आ गया, that means connection has been established, so we can just log. No, there's a different तरीका. We'll start listening for our application. app.listen on, let's define a port as well. Okay, const port is equals to process.env.port. Okay, app.listen port. It also takes a callback function. ठीक है, callback में we can be like console.log success green bold में लिखा आ जाएगा, connection with database established. Connection with database established. Application is live on port. Maybe we want the port in a blue color. I don't know. Let's just play around. Chalk.blue bold. What port? Simple system है भाई. And maybe you want a new line. I like to keep it neat and clean. ठीक है. Connection with database established, application is live, blah blah blah. ठीक है, this is done. Okay, but is it okay now? No. Call तो करो. I told you that it's supposed to be a self-calling function, and you do it like this. Feeling मुझे आ रही है कि might be मेरा feel हो जाए system ये वाला. But let's just do it. What? The server.js. Damn! See, 2307, I did not specify anywhere in the code. Where did it get it from? It got it from .env. I'm not going to show you. Sample.env मैंने अपने पोर्ट में यहाँ 2307 लिखा है. Okay, you can write anything. Usually it's 3000. Let me do this. Usually अगर तुम्हें env में पोर्ट नहीं मिला, it's a good practice to do this. और 3000. It will not work on 3000 because already मैंने define किया हुआ है. ठीक है. Let's just feel कराए कैसे दिखाऊँ without showing you the actual keys and stuff. छोड़ो, देखते हैं बाद में. So we know that हमारा database start हो गया है. Now what was the next step? भाई define roots and middlewares for your application. What are all the communication channels? What are all the functionality that you're providing for the user? Let's do that. Okay. So first is our sign up. Before adding any to do, we need to recognize कि who is the person that this to do belongs. कौन करना चाहता है ये? Like it did not appear out of thin air. There must be someone attached to it. There must be a user जिसका ये to do है. And so that's why we need a sign up. भाई, we need to sign up. So let's define app.post. Sign up is because we're putting something in the database. So it following the norms, it should be a post request. Sign up. The next is a middleware function. Everything is a middleware in Express. Let's make it rec. Rec is the request body. Res is the response object that you can use to send status codes, messages, whatever. Okay. We have a sign up. Then I'm just making a skeleton. Okay. App.post sign up. Okay. Again a middleware function. Then you can have your to do. You're also creating, so you can have it like to do. You're creating a to do. Rec res. There's also a next here. If you have a middleware function, you can have a next here, but we don't. Now you can also get your to dos, fetch your to dos, so we can have a get handler for this. All to dos, even if we had the same name. Achha, a very trivia or trick question for you. What if the name for both the endpoints were same? Will my application work? Exercise for you. Figure it out. I know what the thing is, but figure it out. I told it was not just a one-way thing, it is a two-way process. I tell something, you also communicate with me, we learn in the process. I think I need water. So these are all just routes, but it's not just routes, it's routes and middlewares. Middlewares are very important. For example, sign up, sign in bhai. Sign in में you need validation, input validation. Request बड़े ढंग से आई है कि नहीं आई है. So let's have a middleware for that. How do you use a middleware? First of all, you create it. And second most important thing is you place it. You have to place it the right place. Okay. Why am I so intense? I don't know. App.use. So it takes a callback function or a function. Let's just define the function right here only. It would have been a lot cleaner. If we had just imported these functions and just one line maybe we had just written the server.js, but ठीक है, that's okay. App.use middleware, it will have a rec, res and next because it's chained to all of these middlewares. So when we call next, the next middleware will get called. How will it know which middleware to get called? Let's get in just a little bit of time. Okay. So what we need to do right now is let's add comment. Verify or validate request body payload. Request body. Okay. So we need to define a schema. That this is how the request body should look like. Now since this middleware will get called for like both sign up and it will get called for everything actually. It will get called for everything. So maybe what I can do is, I'll do one thing. This middleware should only be used for this and this. So rather than placing it here, I will chain it in the handler itself. Like for example, if this was called like validation middleware, then we could have always done something like validation will be there in अब क्या होगा and we won't do like this now what will happen is जहाँ पर भी ये defined है function जब भी ये handler call होगा first it will go to this middleware and then it will go to this middleware. This is the middleware chaining that I was talking about. Very useful, very convenient, very good thing. But for now, because we're not doing to do and to do's, just do this. ठीक है? Rec res next. Let's define a payload schema. And for payload schema, who's the boss? Who's the boss? Zord's the boss. Zord. We need Zord. Let's import Zord. The tariqa to do that is this. It's a little different than your regular things, but whatever. What am I doing wrong? अच्छा yeah, ठीक है. Z dot object. The user is going to send a JSON body. JSON body is an object. It must be an object. What are the fields that the object must have? First and foremost, it will have an email. What should the email be? It should be a string. And it should be an email. You can always apply some regex and see whether whether आपके स्ट्रिंग में बीच में एट द रेट है, उसके पहले टेक्स्ट है, उसके बाद में टेक्स्ट है, फिर उसके बाद बीच में डॉट है, एंड देन देयर सम टेक्स्ट आफ्टर दैट. यू कैन ऑलवेज यूज regex फॉर दैट, but it's very complicated, and you should uncomplicate your life. Some people have some very smart people, as Harkirat says, some very smart people have already written some very smart logic for you. Then the smart thing for you to do is just use their smartness. Good. Email validate हो गया. Next thing is password. Passwords are tricky, and we will make it tricky. Oh boy, I will make it tricky. Z dot string, ठीक है? Now we can do lots of stuff. First of all, minimum भाई 8 का तो चाहिए. Maximum भाई ऐसा नहीं कि तुमने people really mess with your servers. They can send like a password just for messing with the server or break your server. 1000 2000 3000 का एप्लीकेशन बॉडी तो बनानी है, बना लो चैट जीपीटी से. 2000 लंबा पासवर्ड जस्ट भेज देंगे, एंड योर डेटाबेस विल गेट polluted. It will get polluted with irrelevant entries. We don't want that. So we should always have a good schema. चलो भाई 32. Some people is like भाई हमारे to-dos are very secretive. I don't want the world to know what I'm gonna do. Good. Secure. Now let's make it more secure. Dot. Here's where we do some things like regex. Like what? भाई एक अपर केस होना चाहिए. पासवर्ड मस्ट डॉट एयर मैसेज. ओके. पासवर्ड मस्ट हैव एन अपर केस character. This is so interesting. This always interests me. Using these wrapper functions, you can get so much done. ठीक है? चैट जीपीटी भी रैपर ही है. जो लोग एप्लीकेशन बिल्ड कर रहे हैं चैट जीपीटी को, रैपर्स ओनली, राइट? सो पासवर्ड क्या गलत कर दिया भाई, देख लेंगे. पासवर्ड मस्ट हैव अ लोअर केस कैरेक्टर. डिजिट भी डाल देते हैं. ऐसा लग रहा है मैं कॉन्वर्जेंट का पासवर्ड सेट कर रहा हूँ. इट वोंट लेट मी सेट अ पासवर्ड अनलेस, ओ माय गॉड, hundreds of things are in that password. That's why I'm doing this. Feel my pain through this application. Feel my pain. Password must have a numerical digit. I can also do something for a special character, but nahi, let's just leave it at that. So string, email, password. Now we are not going to validate name in here, because why? Sign up करते समय we do not want name. And the thing is कि I want this to get called for this and this both. अब ऐसा हुआ कि मान लो कि भाई जब बंदा साइन इन कर रहा है तो उसने नेम नहीं भेजा या नेम भेजा, तो आई डोंट वांट द मिडिल वेयर टू फेल बिकॉज ऑफ दैट. ठीक है. साइन अप के केस में आई विल यूज द जॉर्ड स्कीमा फॉर जस्ट नेम. आई एम श्योर देयर मस्ट बी अ बेटर स्कीमा डिजाइन एंड आई वांट यू गाइस टू टेल मी दैट कि और बेटर मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ, बट आई एम गोना डू दिस फॉर नाउ बिकॉज दैट्स व्हाट आई नो, दैट्स व्हाट आई हैव लर्नड. साइन अप. ओके. सॉरी, नॉट साइन अप राइट नाउ. आपने पेलोड स्कीमा डिज़ाइन कर दिया. ओके. नाउ यू वांट टू वेरीफाई. यू नीड टू वेरीफाई कि जो रिक्वेस्ट बॉडी आई है इट्स वैलिड और नॉट. सो फॉर दैट यू नीड टू पार्स. You need to parse the request body. Okay. So what you'll do is const parse result is equal to payload schema dot safe parse. Now there are two parses, normal parse and a safe parse. Parse में क्या है कि if it fails it will automatically throw an inbuilt error. Safe parse में it will not. It will give us 3 fields: data, error and success, and then we can check in if conditions की क्या scene है. It is better, it's not a wild card. Safe parse is good. Safe parse what? Your request dot body. Now you do some checking. If parse result dot success, not success मतलब अगर success होगा तो true आएगा, अगर fail हुआ तो ये चीज़ true हो जाएगी. Now that your middleware itself failed, you do not want to call the actual route for which the user called. He hit the sign up endpoint, but due to the middleware chaining, what will happen is it will first hit this, and we verified कि भाई बंदे ने he has not abided by the laws. So we will just there's a better thing also. I can wrap this entirely in try catch and throw a custom error. Shall I do that? A good thing to do. Let's do that. It's a good thing. Let's always ensure good things. Try catch. And I can also tell you this is what we do. Like when you're writing the server logic, then you understand acha this can throw errors, and then you write logic for that. Let me just move it. Okay. So in our error.js, we can have like a class invalid payload schema extends what? The main error class inheritance. ठीक है. Call the constructor with a message. क्या message है? Invalid request body sent. ठीक है. Tell the parent class this. Now the beautiful thing about this is we can have custom status codes for your different errors. You can always have different status codes. Okay. So this is invalid request. It's a conflict. This dot name ठीक है. You need to export it to be able to use it. I like to use it. Invalid payload schema. ठीक है. This is ready. Now in our server.js, what we'll do is, since we are gonna have a lot of errors, this is just one, we'll have a const errors is equals to require dot slash error. What this will do is all of these, basically this is an object, right? तो जितनी भी ये object की key values हैं, it will get assigned to this key. So we can do errors dot this error or errors dot this error, whatever we have defined. A lot easier. So now that we've identified कि by parse was not successful, we can throw a custom error, throw new ऐसे थ्रो करेंगे, कैच भी ऐसे करेंगे, थ्रो भी ऐसे करेंगे, इनवैलिड पेलोड स्कीमा, बूम, ठीक है। कैच लास्ट में करेंगे, एंड देन वी कैन बी लाइक, ऑफ कोर्स अगर ये अंदर गया तो द एप्लीकेशन लॉजिक विल स्टॉप, ठीक है, यहीं से रिटर्न हो जाएगा, सीधा कैश में चले जाएगा, तो वी कैन जस्ट सिंपली से we can just simply call next. I think we can simply we should log success key, payload validation successful, camel case नहीं करते हैं, calling the next middleware, everything is a middleware in Express, calling the next middleware, and then let's just do this next. This simple word will call the whatever the real route handler, whatever it was, it will call it automatically. I think the video is getting a little bit long, so we'll just create this middleware, ठीक है, and we'll test it, and then we'll create the sign in endpoints in the next video, ठीक है. Next middleware call हो जाएगा. Now we shall catch errors. Okay, let's have a custom function for errors. No, we'll do that let's have it right now. For example, we can have const check and identify errors, arrow function which takes the error, ठीक है, and then checks if error instance of what errors dot the custom error that you defined invalid payload schema, then do something else, else if instance of some other error, other error, or else हमने डिफाइन ही नहीं किया तो सेंडर सर्वर फट गया भाई, ठीक है. सो सिंस यहाँ भी हर एरर में सेम ही चीज़ होगी, सो लेट्स हैव अ रैपर फंक्शन फॉर दैट एज वेल. const send error response. So we want the response object here as well, and a custom message. This will get clear when I send a custom message. यहाँ पे we want all of this. I think we want all of this. अरे no, actually custom message में I'll send it myself, ठीक है. So what you want is कि if that's the thing, you just want res dot status, you first want to log console.log fail, you want a fail what, your error dot message, okay, because यहाँ पर हमने मैसेज दिया है, सो वट एवर एरर दैट यू डिफाइंड वी कैन लॉग इट हियर, ठीक है. लेट्स ऑल्सो हैव अ स्टैक ट्रेस. आई थिंक स्टैक ट्रेस कैसे आएगी, आई एम श्योर इससे नहीं आएगी, बट लेट्स जस्ट सीड आवर सेल्फ. ये सर्वर में लॉग आ गया, एंड देन यू कैन जस्ट सिंपली टेल स्टेटस कोड मिल जाएगा. हा that dot status code, status, because why we have a status code here. Dot json, it's an error with the error dot message. इतना सिंपल है, ठीक है. अब the thing is, for every error you just need to do send error response with what, the error that I sent here, error that I sent here was what? The error and the response object. In case of custom message I'm sending, I can replicate this thing, but since I don't have the status code, I can't use that error object. Yeah, error message नहीं आएगा. Fail will be the custom message custom message plus error तो है ही. Error message कर दो क्या? Why do we want this custom message? Let's do it custom message. ठीक है? And then we will send the custom message to the status code 500 because it's an unexpected error, I think. ठीक है? Let's just do custom message. I think we're good to go. Check anything. So in your every catch, so beautiful it is. These two wrappers are so beautiful that for every catch you can just do this. Check and identify errors, the error that you got, and the rest. Since we don't have a custom message, we're not gonna send anything. So with that, we are done with the middleware actually. But how do we know that we're even done? We need to test it with Postman. The application is live on port 2307. Let's just do some testing. Let's call sign up. Let's do one thing. Let's open in JavaScript debug terminal. That way you'll really see how the application is going ahead. Done. Okay. Where is the Postman may let us, since we are we first want to sign up. We have written nothing in a sign up. Don't worry. Still, because we have a middleware in place, it will always get called sign up. Sign up may we want email should be a proper string. Password this and password that. ठीक है, let's just पहले send a proper thing. Sign up में body में let's send. I think this is valid. raman@gmail.com. Let's make a new username @gmail.com. Password में there is one small, one capital, a digit. ठीक है, this shall work. Oh boy, now our application will really get tested. Could not send request. Bhai kyun? Because by port. Invalid error request body sent. Kyun? Why? Oh lord. Invalid request body sent. This error is coming from this this thing. सुंदर बनाने के लिए. Let's just. Array, I know why. We need to introduce one more middleware after starting the application. Request body JSON में आती है, but we need to tell our Express that whatever request body comes, convert it into a JSON. अब चलेगा, धूमधाम चलेगा भाई. क्योंकि सर्वर अप नहीं है. अब चलेगा. Payload validation successful. Calling the next middleware. Why is it hung? क्यों? Because sign up में मैं कुछ कर ही नहीं रहा हूँ. If I had done something like res dot send we are good to go. Then you would have received some response. But since we're not even doing that, we're not doing that, right? So we can change it a little more and then send it. We're good to go. This time the sign up amendment sent up something. The actual implementation of the sign up, sign in, and to dos we'll do in a later video, most probably, because I think this is getting long. Okay, but I think we're able to. We'll just recap of what we'll just recap whatever we did. Okay. So first of all, we need the necessary imports. Okay. Then the first thing that we ensure is that we have the necessary things for the startup. That is the database. In our case, we're ensuring that the database is getting called. Agar the connection is successful. If the connection is successful, then only we expose our application to the port that is mentioned. Otherwise, we exit the application. In our case, थैंकफुली अभी तक हमने मोंगो की यूआरएल सही दी है, पोर्ट सही दिया है, सब कुछ सही दिया है, द एप्लीकेशन इज वर्किंग. दैट्स व्हाई वी वर एबल टू send a request on the postman. Whenever we send a request on the postman, the request body will first get converted to a JSON body. Then the next middleware is getting called, which is validating. But validating what? It is validating this exact thing. It is validating कि भाई ये जो user name है, let us just mess with the server. Let's mess it up. हैकर हूँ मैं. हैक्ड भाई, मतलब बंदा तो कुछ भी करेगा ना, बट योर एप्लीकेशन शुड बी रोबस्ट इनफ. डेटाबेस फेल्ड टू कनेक्ट, एग्जिटिंग एप्लीकेशन. वेरी गुड. सो वी गॉट दिस एरर एज वेल एंड दिस इज अ गुड थिंग. अगर डेटाबेस नहीं कनेक्ट हुआ देन दिस शुड एग्जिट. वैलिड एग्जिट बिकॉज मेरा भाई वाईफाई भी लाइट गई थी ना, तो वाईफाई डिस्कनेक्ट हो गया है. लेट मी जस्ट क्रिएट अ हॉटस्पॉट. सी, नेटवर्क कनेक्शन नहीं था, डेटाबेस फेल हो कनेक्ट करने में, द एप्लीकेशन डिड एग्जिट. दिस इज एन एग्जांपल ऑफ अ गुड डिजाइन. गुड डिजाइन, सही हुआ, गुड. ठीक है. बिकॉज आई कनेक्टेड माई इंटरनेट, तो कनेक्शन हो गया. Now this should really mess up. Invalid request body sent. नहीं जा सकते आप. You cannot enter that endpoint at all. आपको यहीं से response आ गया. The front end guys or the postman people are like, अरे bro, we know we are messing with you guys. Okay, we can't get ahead. Your database is intact. Your service is intact. You can see जो फटा नहीं है. It is still active. You can receive more good requests. अगर किसी ने actually में अच्छा hacker@sorry.com password small capital digit blah blah blah. No, I'm not gonna use it anyways. I think this is valid, right? Send. Payload validation successful. Calling the next middleware. Everything is working as expected till now. ठीक है. It's a good scenario till now. I'll see you guys in the next one where we're actually doing some more beautiful stuff, devising more routes, logic, database interaction, handling errors, creating errors, messing, really touching the corner cases and stuff. Just मेरे साथ बने रहो भाई. It's going to be an amazing journey ahead. Thank you all so much for your support. Please like, comment and share and tell me where am I going fast, slow, what I need to do to improve, where some design thing I'm doing wrong, coding में क्या गलत कर रहा हूँ, क्या सही कर रहा हूँ. Please feel free. This is a two-way interaction. Thank you so much guys and I'll see you in the next one. I better see you in the next one.